What's up, family? This is Ryan Middleton, and this is the whole story where health overarches literally everything. And this platform exists to give Black men a place to share their stories, their healing, their journey. And we touch on topics like mental health, brotherhood, testimonies, or even whatever's happening in life as we speak. But yeah, man, today I got a very, very, very special guest, man. My brother from another mother, all the way from the East Coast. Um, yeah, man, my bro, introduce yourself, man. Thank you for coming on. And to start, yeah, tell people about yourself a little bit, what you do, and yeah,
Yeah, my name is Glen Henry. Most people know me from Beleaf, a you know father, speaker, husband, MC, and creative. Originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Um, I've been in California, San Diego, North County, San Diego for about 20 years now. I love the West Coast. I can't get it off me. But there's something about being from the East Coast that I don't know, just gives you a certain type of grit um, that I just feel like won't leave as well. So yeah, my time now is spent as a stay-at-home dad slash creative, really trying to make sure that I squeeze out all of the trauma that I've experienced and not let it leak onto my children. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
appreciate it, bro. Appreciate that, man. Sharing that, man. Um, yeah, me and my bro, we met. Shoot, was the last year? It seemed shoot,
Yep.
time been going by fast, man. But
Yeah.
I tell testimony. I think I told him that when I first seen him years ago, I felt that God was showing me that that's gonna be my physical brother one day, and I was like, man, for real? That was back way back. I was uh listening to listening to him, and oh, he's a rapper, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
so that's how I first found Glenn, man. He was rapping with the breaks, man, and doing his thing, man. And I fell in love. He's my top five. I give him. He's in my top five lyricist ever. He's like that.
That's
But yeah, man. And then when I became a dad, I didn't have no type of foundation on what that looked like, and it just so happened Glenn was starting to do his path, man, back in 2014, around at the 2010s, right? And that I needed that so bad. And then next thing you know it, man, we became brothers now, man. So God has a funny way of how he works, you know. So, but yeah, man, we're gonna jump into it, man. Let's shoot. How about you talk about your childhood, your upbringing, bro? A little bit, man.
yeah. Um, what, okay, so I'll give you a general and then you can just ask clarifying
Yeah,
questions, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah. So, originally from Baltimore, I grew up. My mom had me when she was 16. And then my dad left around the age of 2 and he moved to California and they had joint custody. So I would spend my summers in California and the rest of the year, school year, in Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore County. And it was a definitely a quite a bit of change between those two places. I felt that my mom was struggling for the most part because she had me at such a young age. We kind of grew up together. My father was a little older, but he also had like a wife. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
like the situation was different. So I perceived my dad to be kind of rich. You know what I'm saying? My mom to be poor, but not
mm,
because he had money, because he had more stability. And so uh, I gravitated a lot to any male who would give me any type of attention because I was just like, yo, like I need support and like help thinking and help figuring out how to be a man. Uh, at a very young age. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you know, spent a lot of time outside, being raised by the TV also a lot. Really fell in love with black television. You know, Different World, Cosby Show, Martin, Fresh Prince, and that's kind of like the internal dialogue that I was having was more of like aspiring to want a family one day, but not really knowing the inner workings of how to get there. Uh, and so, yeah, like, you know, my dad is very surface, not a very deep individual. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of start deep, and so um, you know, I kind of had to figure out how to, you know, learn what I could say and what I couldn't say that wouldn't get me in trouble. My mom was physically abusive and mentally, emotionally abusive, um, and though she didn't know any better, you know, those wounds never really healed, and so we find ourselves at odds today. And so, yeah.
Ah, that's good, man. Thanks for sharing that. So that let's go back to your that deep thought that you're talking about, right? So was that something that you developed through, through the childhood, or did that kind of happen from childhood to teenager to all the way to adulthood?
Well, you know, I think I always could tell how I felt, but it wasn't really perceived well all the time.
Okay.
So I would, you know, my mom would often like kind of try to get it out of me. And I remember like one time she put me in therapy or like counseling. And so I was able to communicate, but I was so withdrawn. I realized that, man, like I could communicate how I feel, but no one wants to really hear how I feel. So
Mm,
I learned at a young age, you know, basically how to uh, like people please, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Or like hold it in, right? Holding it in. And so uh, at this point, you know, at that time, like my skill was like hiding in plain sight and being small, you know what I'm saying, and being out of the way and out of trouble. And so um, I would have a capacity to say how I felt, but you know, when you're broke, family is kind of like your biggest currency. And so the people around me who were older than me would often teach me how to grin and bear it and how to hold things together and hold things in. And so the skill became hiding and like like keeping it together.
Yeah. So what did that look like, when I know you said that some of the people kind of taught you kind of how to hold it in. Were the adults, the family telling you how, or were they like shut up, little nigga, you need to be tough, or like how did
Oh,
how did that look?
well, I mean, you know, when you have a parent that um you know that like if you have a main character in the house, everybody kind of revolves around them. You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? So uh you know, my grandmother would tell me to like, she'd be like, you know, just apologize. Just apologize to your mother. You made her upset. Just apologize. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It didn't matter if I was right. It just was that I knew that was would get me out of the situation. And so uh, they taught me how to move around her emotions. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And so uh, they were all doing it as well. That was the family culture to navigate my mom. You know, that's what I've seen. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? From my aunts, I mean, my aunt, my uncle, and my grandmother, and even my dad. Like you just kind of you gotta be careful around. You know, it's like when you got a sleeping baby, you just tiptoe. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Or like you know you walk into the wrong cave and it's a bear in there. You slowly back out. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like everybody knows how to avoid the drama, but it got to a point where I realized um, like I was like a liberator. Like I became like I'm not dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing push-ups. I'm gonna start lifting weights so when she hit me, it won't hurt. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? Like I'm gonna, you know, you know. And then when she couldn't get to my physical, she would try to play with my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She would give me things and then take them away. You know what I'm saying? She would. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I had the capacity, not necessarily all of the words to explain how I felt, but I had like the the wherewithal to know like, hey, this something ain't right. You know, something like
Yeah.
this is off. And so, but when you're in a kind of psychological warfare thing, you often wonder if you're crazy. Like you walk around just being like, hey, I think this is bad, but because she's upset, I'm the bad guy. So that's when, around the age of 9, is when I like first prayed to God that He would take my life. Like that was my first
Yeah.
suicidal ideation. And so because I was like, look, man, we both can't be here. Like if you want her gone, then take her. If you want me gone, take me. Like I don't care who you get rid of, but this doesn't make any sense. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's almost I almost felt like it was very irresponsible of God to give me her as a mother. You
Gotcha.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, well, why would you do that? That makes no logical sense. You know?
Yeah. Man, that's man. Appreciate you sharing that, man, for sure. Where I mean, pops was gone, of course. You're back with moms. Were there any consistent men that like try to reach down or reach back for you, or even kind of seeing your situation and was like, man, let's see if I could at least try to get you out a little bit to try to help the situation?
Yeah, like my uncle would pick me up sometimes and take me out for the day, or like let me spend the night over his house. Like a couple times, that was helpful. Um, but he I still had to go back home. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was kind of like he knew what I had to deal with, but he didn't want to. Like I was like, hey, somebody need to tell her she's wrong. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Nobody was able to do that, but people would be able to give me a quick vacation. So my uncle was that first person. My grandfather, um, kind of would hop in here and there. Take me to his house and stuff like that. Sometimes, but it's always like you gotta go back home. You know what I mean? And so the main person I feel like was most consistent was my homie Sydney's dad.
Hmm.
Sydney lived on the bottom floor of the apartment building we stayed in, and he was just always on. Every time I stepped in his house, it was like I was his other kid. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It was free. It was free. It was free thinking. It was just acceptance and care,
Yeah.
and so that was good for me. That was good for me to see. And then there was Dr. Carson, who was my little brother's grandfather. And so he
Okay.
would pick me up, and take me to play golf when I was like 14, 15. By that time though, I had already made up my mind that like once I left my mom's house, I would never return.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, man. Um, as I look back, as I'm hearing your story, it just seemed like, man, our the people, of course, our parents, but definitely people around, eh, for moments of times that really failed you. You get what I'm saying? Like, and failed when people could have been, especially if they knew your situation. And how do you feel
Yeah.
about that? Do you feel like that's an issue that was an issue for you, and then or even now too?
Well, I think that now that I understand the situation more, I'm not necessarily disappointed for what they did back then. I'm more disappointed on who they are now. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Gotcha.
Because the way, like the onus is still on me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like it's still like, if you wanna, if you need to forgive your mom, you need to, and it's like this is not about forgiveness. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This is about behavior. Like at
Yeah.
this point, like I'm managing behavior, and so um, my grandmother, you know, she's a great woman for me in my life, but her past is she has a rough upbringing, and so
Yeah.
her rough upbringing led to my mom. You know what I'm saying, like having a rough upbringing essentially, And
Hmm.
so what I recognize is that my mom, her lack of like my grandmother owes my mom for what happened to her.
Okay.
So so there's no accountability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and so when you don't have accountability, you also can have a very short memory. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, I remember asking my grandmother, like, why won't she stop hitting me? Why won't she stop hitting me and crying? And she was just like, all you got to do is graduate, and you don't have to come back. You don't got to deal with it no more.
Mm.
And I took her word on that. You know what I'm saying? And so what happens is with this mother wound that creeps up everywhere, like it's
Yeah.
everywhere. And it even has to deal with like, you know, my relationship with black women as a whole. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like my grandmother now, I go grandma, like you know, because my grandmother was like, hey, you know, I really need you. I'm not gonna live long. You know what I'm saying? Like she started doing that whole thing, and I want to get my
Yeah.
family together. And she was like, I want to get you on a cruise, and I want to go on a cruise with all my family. I'm like, grandma, I'm not getting on a boat with that nigga, man. It's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, grandma, that is crazy to even think you would ask me something like, oh, it's just like a. I'm like, grandma, and I'm like, grandma, you don't like. Why would you want me to be in a situation like that? Like, why would you want me to feel like that? You know.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was like, you don't remember this, you don't remember that. She was like, you know, I can't, I don't know if she hit you out of anger. I just don't know if that happened. I didn't see it. And I was like, you know, now we live in Section 8,
Mm.
where my house, my apartment building was here, and my grandmother's apartment building was here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you didn't see it, you heard it.
You heard. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Watching
Facts.
TV or whatever. But, you know, I would literally run across the street to her house crying. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
as a child, you know, at this point, I'm kind of like, you know, I I'm not interested in like my mom being my mom at this point. I'm just like, hey, can we be human beings and respect each other and appreciate each other? You know,
Yeah.
can we
Yeah.
honor each other's boundaries? Can I feel safe around you, or are you gonna blow up and make me and try to make me feel something or make me guilty for something or shame me? And um, that's kind of like I told my mom, I was like, hey, you know, that's a bare minimum thing for my friendships. So if I
Yeah.
have friendships that treat me like you treat me, I wouldn't be friends with them no more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
As a mother, I feel like I should hold you at a higher standard because you know everything I've been through. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you understand why I might be a little mistrusting of you. You
Yeah.
know, and so because I'm talking like this logically, she can't get there with me. You know what I'm saying? She's just
Yeah.
like, you know, at this point you have unforgiveness, you know. And so I'm not at necessarily, you know, angry or upset about who they were, who like what happened in the past. It's kind of like, all right, well, at this point, you know, it's been years, you know, 35 years of this like cancerous environment, and as a like generational chain breaker,
Hmm.
I am not bringing my children around that shit. Like I'm
Yeah.
not bringing my children around anything that is going to um, make them look at me like, Dad, why didn't you stand up for yourself?
Hmm.
You know what
That's
I'm
true.
saying?
That's true.
Because at that same time, like I wouldn't even allow my children to um, allow me to do that to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
standard. Hey man, protect yourself even from me. Like if I'm tripping, you know what I'm saying? Like protect yourself
Yeah.
at all times. You
That's.
know what I mean? So yeah, I accept where we are. I
Yeah.
accept it. I think, man, can you please? We're not going anywhere at all. I'm gonna do my interview. You can figure it out, love. Um, yeah, like you know, I've accepted where we are, and I just wish people would respect what I know. Like trust
Yeah.
me with myself. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? That's a big thing for me. Like if you tell me, man, them stairs are too high for me, I'm gonna push you and say, hey, I think you can do more. But if you're telling me But if you can't go and you won't take another step, I trust you. I
Yeah.
trust you with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm not I'm not putting myself in any position to be played by anybody. You know, even my grandmother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just not
That's
happening.
that sounds healthy to me. I feel you, bro, on that, man. That's real, man. Thank you for
Well,
sharing that.
you know, it's crazy. I don't even know if that's healthy, bro. Like, I don't.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's healthy.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's. I think it. Hey, this is now the responsible thing I can do because the ripple effect. Like, I got to think about it like chess, right? So
Hmm.
if I go, you know what, my grandmother is getting older. We gotta do this. I'm gonna just go ahead on this cruise, right? Now, the thing is about me is like if I don't most of the time I speak my mind. Like most of the
Hmm.
time I speak my mind. When it comes to multiple players, like multiple like my children, my aunt, my cousins, my like all those
Yeah.
different players, I'm gonna speak my mind, but at the same time I know when a nigga look crazy. Like I
Hmm.
know if I'm sitting here like my mom goes, uh, she talks to me and she spits on me by mistake.
Hmm.
She also like once upon a time like spit in my face directly and called the cops on me. Like that's a trigger.
Yeah.
So if she's by mistake and I go, Ma! You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everyone be like, what the hell is wrong with this nigga? Man? They're gonna have me in the jail on a boat. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm gonna do I'm gonna do myself a favor. I'm gonna be in your presence on my terms. I'm gonna have a car. I'm gonna have an exit strategy. I'm gonna have a lot of time. I'm gonna have something to do afterwards. I'm not gonna take my shoes off. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get
Yeah.
because I need these certain things to deal
To go
with
right.
you because I know
Yeah.
who you are. You know what I mean? And forgiveness really does come with changed behavior or like a mistake. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm forgiving you, then like I'm giving you the benefit that you won't do that again. But if every time I'm in that situation, you've done it over and over and over again, it's kind of like, well, then I'm not being smart about who I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? This is a part of your
Yeah.
nature now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
No,
I got
that's
to put
good.
gloves on, got to put protective gear on, and all that stuff. You know?
No, that's good, man. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that for real, man.
Yeah.
Um, turning point. When or what did you do, man, to help you kind of get through all that growing up there? How was school? You know what I'm saying? How was the friend? Like, what did you do? Did you immerse yourself into sports? You know what I'm saying? Was it art, music? What did you do to kind of help yourself, man, take your mind off of that stuff?
I mean, friends. I have friends. I was really into girls. Um, I started to, um, I think I'm trying to think. I mean, it was a little bit of sports and a little bit of, but like Baltimore is so difficult, man. Like it's such a difficult place to be in because as much talent is there and life is there, it's not a lot of proof. You know,
That's good.
like it's not a lot like, hey, I'm from Baltimore and I made it here. Now I'm
Hmm.
just saying this is my experience when I was growing up. Now I feel like there's a lot more proof.
Hmm.
And I'm even a part of that proof, right? Uh, but I can't say that it was, you know, like nothing that I had access to. Oh, you know what it was? I think ROTC was like my thing. Like I was
Okay.
really good at, um, I was like captain of the drill team and company
Hey.
commander and all that stuff. So I was pretty good at that. That was kind of part of my identity. Actually, Philip Seaman, who was a part of
Group. Yeah. Yeah.
the group on Saturdays, he was in ROTC with me in high
Yeah.
school.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, a year older than me, but we that was kind of like my thing. That was like my crew, my friends. But I was really like I wouldn't say. I think I just kind of turned my brain off. Got home, watched Dragon Ball Z, made me a steak, and
Yeah,
pretended to be asleep. You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Got you on that.
It was. I got through it. I got through it. But it's a lot. It's really hard to be from there. In my experience, it's just so much to like maneuver through.
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. Got you on that, bro. Shoot, man, that's interesting, man. When I think about the East Coast, yeah. Now that you're saying everything that you're saying, like it's not till now that even like sports wise, where you know playing football, I didn't hear no no big bang from football out there until like more now. It was some teams out there, but it wasn't really a big place where you're like, all right, we're going Baltimore, they got it. But they do, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of talent out there. And now it's kind of starting to come out, stuff like that. But yeah, man, how about thank you for sharing that, man. How about we switch to I'm trying to ask this question the right way. We could we could talk about mental health, right? Do you think because you were a deep thinker, right? Were you able to explore mental health a lot sooner than most of us? Or and what was people telling you? Did you hear the things like I heard, like mental health was for pussies? You know what I'm saying? Like, or was it something that you were like, all right, I kind of want to do this. I'm a deep thinker. Let me explore it.
Well, I think you know when you tell people like, hey, I want to kill myself. Like when you say that, like people don't say that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't come on. Why would you? And I'm like that. Like all that stuff you're feeling right now about what I'm saying has nothing to do with like the fact that I'm ready to do this because it ain't no reason to be here. Y'all niggas ain't really trying to help solve my situation. Like y'all not trying to help me. You
Hmm.
know, y'all really don't care like that because whatever situation you got with this person takes priority over the children involved. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so everybody wants black children to be obedient.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? But they don't want like I don't think they want them to feel safe.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I do feel like obedience is a response to safety.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Woo,
Like
that's
like
good.
when you feel safe and secure, you're willing to be obedient to the structure, the environment to stay safe and secure. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But if you're gonna violate my safety and I'm gonna be insecure about how I'm living, or I'm always gonna be getting put out of the house for not taking out the trash or not bringing the paper home or losing a homework assignment, and I'm getting put out of the house for 3 days, and I'm walking down the street in my underwear, like, why would I be obedient to you?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, so um, like it was something like I wasn't the one. Like they always say, the people in therapy are in therapy, but the people who made them want to do therapy are the one
Mm,
that needed the therapy. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like I know that I need the therapy because the proper response to my experience with my mom is to then redo it to my children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh,
Like that's how cycles continue. And
yeah.
so I don't necessarily know what other people thought about it, but they like my friends, I would be like, yeah, man, I wanna kill myself. I tell them that and they'd be like, man,
Hmm.
you're tripping. And then my mom is very beautiful. She's young. So they'd be like, man, your mom, man, she thick. Da, da, da. You know how
Mm,
like back in the
yeah.
day, it was about trying to smash each other's moms. Like that was a
Yeah.
thing. Like
You
it
ain't
was so
lying. It was.
your mom's so sexy, bro. Look at what you're wearing today. It was crazy. So niggas used to do that to me, and I'll be like, yeah, but she crazy though. Like I say
Yeah.
that, and they be like, "Oh, whatever." So like then they would come over to my house and they would experience it, or they see me walking down the street like, "Yo, where your clothes at?" Or they be like, "Why you wearing somebody else's clothes to school?" And I'm like, "Oh, my mom kicked me out. I had to spend out their house. This is their little brothers this, their big brothers that." And so they got it. Like no one was tripping off of like me. Like they would have
Mhm.
been like, oh yeah, that makes. Like if I would have killed myself, they'd be like, yeah, I got it, I get it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
because of the type of mind game. So it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't. We were all counseling each other. All a
Yeah,
bunch of
good.
suicidal people keep each other alive. You know, um, and so nah, it wasn't like it wasn't looked down upon that I was feeling that way.
Yeah.
But I was really into girls. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
I think part of my mother wound was like, well, if I had a girlfriend or if I had this or that, you know what I'm saying? Like I would
Yeah.
have somebody to focus on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's amazing perspective, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I felt that in my soul. Felt that in my soul, bro. Um um so what was kind of a turning point, man? I mean, you you're home now, you're getting older, so now you're in your teens. So yeah, tell us about a turning point. Did you leave the house? When did you leave the house? Did you get break free from that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I went to my, I got kicked out of my grandmother's house. I kept getting kicked out.
Hmm.
So, you know, I got kicked out of my grandmother's house, and that it was real bad. You know what I'm saying? Because I got caught like having sex with a girl in her bed. It was crazy,
Yeah, I got you.
insane.
Got you.
Because I'm sleeping at her house. So I slept. My mom, me and her got into it real bad at like 16, right before I turned 17. I got kicked out. I moved in with my grandma. I got in trouble at her house. Got kicked out of there. Went to my aunt's house. Went to school. Went to college for like a semester. UMES. Came back. Got kicked out again. Like it was just like I was on that adolescent like you know
Yeah,
um and then I was I had like planned to like finally do the deed where I in my life or whatever. And so I called my dad basically for permission. You know what I'm saying? I was like, look, man, this is over. I just wanted to say goodbye.
yeah,
And so crying on the phone like, man, let's just come out here and start over. Come out here and start over. You know what I'm saying? This was like I don't know what month it was, but I know I moved out to California August 31st, 2005. And, you know, I slept on his floor. You know, my homie Garrett, who I knew in the summers or whatever when I lived in California, took me to the Movement Church in San Marcos. I met Ruslan there.
okay.
He, you know what I'm saying, Ruslan, I used to say he liked to collect black people because all his friends was black. It was like, I'm like, where you find all these black people at? His girlfriend black, his homie black, people in his band black. And so he walked up to me and I'm like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? But he had like this hip hop spoken word thing, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, come on, man, be a part of my brand. At the time, it was called Thoughts Aloud.
Hmm.
I was like, nah, I ain't trying to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, and I was there for a year because I was waiting to get citizenship, so I could not citizenship. What is it called? Yeah, I think it's citizenship for California, but then you can get like financial aid or whatever and go to school for free if you live
Yeah,
there and got a light name.
yeah.
So it was like a year. I was going to be working for a year, so I got a job at the Men's Warehouse. Accepted the Lord as my Savior. Got a job at the Men's Warehouse. They started rapping with this dude on the side. I started spinning with him, spinning his
Mhm.
records because he gave me some turntables, and I kind of got good real quick. And then that's kind of how things kind of shifted. But the whole thing was like my father answering the phone and being like come out here and start over. That was the shift where I knew that there was more. My mom, doesn't have to be the villain. You know what I'm saying? I think the
Exactly.
villain is like my state of mind was like my biggest op, because for some reason, like I did not have any type of like self esteem, belief in
Hmm.
myself or whatever. And having a mom who's nuts can do that to you, like that.
Yeah.
Like, cause I would be like, bro, I would be sitting here like watching my homies, like, and their moms, man, they just the little boys like their little king. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
justifying all their BS behavior and giving them so much opportunity. And these niggas is smoking weed in the house, bringing home babies. And, you know what I'm saying? I forget to take out the trash, and it's like, nigga, I'm gonna kill you, nigga. Like
Yeah.
you don't, what I'm saying? And so I just could not understand like a lot of your emotional like capacity and care and love like that come from your mom, man. Like
Yeah.
the type of you have and her pursuing you, like all that is so valuable, Um, and so, nowadays I father from that place.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Speaking of father, man, touch on. Can you touch on a little bit, man, or a lot of
Sure.
it? Totally up to you on your brand, on not even your brand, but I call it your ministry, but just who you are now as a black man, and what motivated you to begin on the path that you started doing, with fatherhood. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, well, my dad. My issue with my dad was that like, man, you really left me with this lady, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you really, left me out here, um, kind of fending for myself and having to raise this individual. You know what I'm saying? And I was so irritated by that. I felt that was, you know, I guess I got to the point where I was like, man, I don't know if this guy will ever understand his value. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Or how appropriate it was for him to be in the house to protect me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, because my grandmother wouldn't protect me, and my uncle wouldn't protect me, and my little brother's grandfather wouldn't protect me, and my mom's boyfriend wouldn't protect me, and nobody from the neighborhood would protect me, I assumed that my dad would have done it if he was there.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you.
And so, what'd you say?
No, I said got you. Yeah, I was saying.
Yeah. So, um, me not having a father on the daily, but having them during the summer times where I get to live this kind of different life and then had to go back to my reality, I realized like that's why I work from home now. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna see me every day. It's gonna feel like where's dad? Why isn't dad here? You know what I'm saying? When I'm not here, it's gonna be weird. Not because I want that, you know, like I have anxiety toward it, but there's a lot of problems I solve when I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
as a president, I'm protecting everybody from each other. I'm protecting them from me. I'm protecting, you know, and it's really not even like they don't really need to be protected at this point. They can kind of protect themselves. Um, but yeah, I just kind of saw this gap in my life, and then I recognized that a lot of other people had the same gap to where they don't know what happens in a father's mind, and so the Wonder Years is kind of like the closest thing to like, oh, this is kind of what I want to model my show after this, uh, you know. So the Wonder Years meets the Bernie Mac show meets,
Yeah.
um, you know, kind of Cosby esque. You know what I'm saying with the quick lessons every episode. Um, yeah, I saw the gap, and there was only one other father online like that. His name was
Yeah.
LaGuardia Cross, uh, New Father Chronicles.
Yeah.
You know, but I took the things that I learned from hip hop and I just applied them and brought them into the space uh, for YouTube.
Man, that's amazing, man. What? So your platform is what based mainly for black men, right? How would you say that, or would you say it's for all fathers?
No, I think it's for black people in general. I once said, hey, I don't want to be the guy for black dads. I want to be the guy for every dad. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Trying to all out matter my stuff, right? And black people was like, man, we do not want to hear that shit. Like, you are here for us, and that is it. We are not trying to hear that. And I was like, gotcha. You know what I'm saying? One thing you don't do is fight your audience when they choose you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't sit up here and unchoose your audience. That's what a lot of people try to do. You see a lot of these white rappers be like, I'm not a rap artist. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden,
Mm,
I'm just a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never do that. You know what I mean? Because hip hop has taught me that. Like, when you're on a stage, man, like, you can't choose who you want to show up to the show. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
you at that meet and greet, and if it's a bunch of people out there missing teeth, that's who you represent. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, you know. And I had that experience. I was like, man, these people do not look like people I would have chose as my fans, but I'm with
mm,
it. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
It's just like early on. Um, but the people who could afford to come to the shows, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the people, right? So, um, you know, I thought it was definitely just for black dads, but it's for black people in general. Black men, a whole space for black men specifically because there's really no spaces for us to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like just to be open about like, man, I'm feeling like this. Is this weird? Or, you know, so on Saturday mornings when we meet as black, you know, for the Good Fathers meetings, coming Good Fathers meetings, you know, you hear people say stuff you ain't never heard nobody say before. You know what I'm saying? And then I just want people to know, hey, man, you safe with that thought here. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it's a free thought.
Yeah.
It's a free space, open forum. Most times when black men are saying something, the response is to control it, right? So if I go, "Hey man, I'm suicidal," no, don't have that thought. You should never. That's demonic. You know what I'm saying? Or like, man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling sick. That's of the enemy, or whatever it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
or actually, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Well, you need to man up. You need to da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of our women really don't know how to hold space for us either because
That's true.
um, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, and I can say this is my experience, and I'm not sure about every other, you know, a lot of people out there, but my experience is that my wife wasn't taught how to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? She was taught how to be a mother. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
not how to be a wife. And so I don't know about you, but you know, as much as I was like kind of bred to work, I also was bred to care for a woman because I had to manage my mother's feelings. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive to my wife's feelings, you know?
Man, that's a
So
good point, man. That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, so if you were raised by by your mother, you're as a man, if you were raised by your mother, you're already like kind of in tune to the voice of a woman. So sometimes when my wife is saying something, I don't necessarily need to react to it, but because I'm naturally like, listen, she's talking. You know what I'm saying? Make her happy. Like, but if I finish that complete sentence is make her happy and you won't get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm.
but that has nothing to do with my wife. That's my mommy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would explore, you know, these like deep feelings and recognize that my wife would eventually come out to say like, yeah, I actually didn't see my mom take care of my father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when I needed to be taken care of, like I was almost an extension of her. Like, no, I'm going to neglect myself and you. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? We are going to do things for the people that I care about. Me or you are a team to please other people. That's what my wife was expecting out of me. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it got to the point where you know, just like I did with my mom, I'm sitting here looking, I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that. And we finna both be suffering, you know what I'm saying? Cause we gonna hate this, cause I'm not built for that. Uh, so yeah.
Nah, that's good, man. Got a few more questions for you, man. So you hit on the
Uh,
brotherhood um part. Man, you know what? Let's touch on that, man, because I don't know if you heard another NFL a kid who just got drafted by the Eagles just committed suicide, right?
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's a wild thing to be seeing it happen. I know it's been here, but to see it, live like this and it's happening as much as it's been happening, and put out there the last few years has been great, especially because it touched home for me because NFL, first of all, football. And then they're young, man, and they're taking it in life. You thinking like, man, they got millions, they're in college with millions. They got millions here, and then it's like their life is going. Can you kind of talk on what could be the reason, and how could maybe brotherhood um help in a situation like that?
Man, you know, I think, when you get into a situation where, when I've been in those situations where I'm having my deepest thoughts about, like, dang, I want to end my life, right? It comes, one, from a place of it's, it's going to sound stupid, but it comes from a place of pride, right?
Hmm.
And it's not that I'm like being selfish, it's that I don't perceive that I am valuable or that I'm cared for or I'm
Hmm.
cared about. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so I it's really hard for me to break that very quick little shifty mind thing that happens. But what happens is it goes, yeah, you know, nobody cares because you don't have any value. You know what I'm saying? Like no one cares. You're not doing anything of value, and a lot of the stuff you do is pointless. Actually, you know what I'm saying? And some of that could be bad doctrine or whatever. Um, but I have to get community is great, but I don't have access to community off the rip. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It would be like me. I know that if I was really hurt, it's some brothers I can call on that will pull up. The thing is, what I even want to, you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because trying to explain to someone who essentially has everything, right? That they feel empty or not valuable, it almost seems like you're not grateful of what you have, and that adds another level of shame to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think what I do is I pray immediately, for the Lord to take the thoughts away or give me enough time to be reminded of how loved I am. You know what I'm saying? And in those situations, I find myself, holding on as long as possible, and then, I'll get an email or a call, or somebody will reach out, like something will happen, and you know, I'm grateful for God giving me that like that amount of hold and that amount of pressure. It feels like a little squeeze out of life. And then when I get into that space of being like, yes, I'm going to give tomorrow a chance, right? I then can start to implement disciplines that will help me remind myself of how good my life is and how good God is. Now, this is my own personal little thing I have to do. This is how I father myself first, right?
Yeah.
This is how I gather myself, because at this point, though community is really important, I am, I have been proven to me that the more people around, the less gets done. The more people that know you, the less safe you feel. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which takes me all the way back to my childhood and everybody knowing that my mom was beating the hell out of me and no one did anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was I taught when I said in the beginning? I was taught to grin and bear it. I was taught to hide. You know what I'm saying? And so if you are taking everything and you holding on to everything, and you hide, you're essentially isolated, and you're just stuck in your cycles. So, um, you know, my favorite outlet is to create and write a song. You know, that's my favorite thing to do. Um, as far as brotherhood is concerned, you know, people like the DSSC, them dudes do a great job checking up on you, great job loving on you, great job. I am there's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me, man, because I'm like, man, why is niggas calling me right now? You know what I'm saying? Like I just like to sit back and just like think and create things, you know. And so but that has a lot to do with that same upbringing stuff, man. Like when you get into that space and you think like, oh, this is another relationship I have to manage, you know.
Exactly. Yes.
Um, and so that type of stuff gets difficult just for me, and it's a level of immaturity and stuff I'm trying to grow myself out of, um, you know. But I think I need more proof of goodness. Like I need to be around more solid people. I often feel like when I leave out of a room, most people get value, but I don't.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always kind of like, man, I could have stayed in the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I often leave empty, you know, and that could be a pride thing, that could be a arrogance thing, that could be a defense mechanism, you know. But I said before, man, like I'm very honest. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a gift. But everything don't gotta be that deep. You know what I'm saying? Niggas can be
Mm-hmm.
like, man, I'm just trying to go get a taco, nigga. Like, come
Yeah.
get the taco. We finna go play basketball. Come play basketball. And I'm kind of like, nah, man, because I don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I got
the
you, bro.
kind of emotional, like stuff I have to think about and let go of. It's just difficult for me.
Man, we are like in so many ways, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, man, since I came back from my vacation, nigga, I don't want no nigga. I don't want nobody called like, and I feel like this year, man, it's been like that for me too, man. Just to
Mm.
kind of ride that wave a little bit. But yeah, man, thanks for sharing that, bro. I want to
Yeah.
end this, bro, with your project right now, man. Can you tell us about it? Um,
Which
the
one?
amazing, the first one, yeah, the first one, the book. You can talk about the
Oh,
book, man.
of
Yeah,
course.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can talk
man.
about yeah. Go ahead, tag that in, man. Tell us about it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think we all need men in our life who are going to tell you the truth no matter how much it hurts. And I am fortunate enough to be that person in so many other people's lives. But in this book, I essentially do it to myself and teach you how to do it for yourself. You know what I mean? And so, Father Yourself First is a project that definitely feels like a hug, a familiar friend that is hoping that you don't make the same mistakes he did, um, and is actually unwilling to allow you to do so. Um, so yeah, I've been working on this book for like 10 years. It's a really important project, and a lot of what I've done, I haven't been able to communicate how I felt all this time. But when I first learned how to do it, I was very mean. A lot
Hmm.
of cursing, negative talk, all that stuff. I was borrowing the voice that my mother gave to me. And so here, I've redefined that voice with kind words and great perspectives and good analogies and stuff like that. So Yeah, man. Available everywhere. Audible, voiced by me. Um, I really appreciate you guys for supporting the book for sure.
Man, for sure. You know me, man. I got many copies, and
Yes, you do.
it's a book, man. That's been good. I'm still even I'm audio. Yeah, I have it on audio, and it's been
Yep.
great for me. And I like to meticulously like listen, and it takes me forever because I go back. I go back like, man, he said this back here, and then but yeah, man, I'm on chapter 6 right now, and on the audio right now. So, but it's been a really amazing. It's helped me to to be able to share my story.
Yeah.
Um, and what the audience may not know, this brother right here was probably one of the main reasons that I got started. Because within our mind, sometimes
There's a little bit of bullying involved.
look, I needed that Baltimore, man. I needed that Baltimore, man. That I needed that because if not, I probably still won't be started, man. But I am grateful for my bro, man, and brotherhood, man. Like we are testament of brotherhood, testament of mental health, testament of checking in with each other, and like I said, it don't have to be. And this is for the audience, y'all. It don't have to be an everyday bromance type thing, Everybody's not like
Yeah.
that. Everybody's not built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our way of how we communicate with each other and check in with each other, right? And it don't
Yeah.
and I share that with you with in the audience, black men, so that you don't like have this whole thing in your mind like, man, I gotta go over his house every day. Now you can, you know what I'm saying, if y'all had it, but if not, you know what I'm saying, that's cool too, you know. But a
Yeah.
check-in, man, is for real, and because like us, man, as black men, like it's easy for us to hide, you know what I'm saying, and hide behind our families, hide behind our work, our creativity, and it is, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's real easy, you know what I'm saying. Before you look up, you ain't talked to nobody in a minute. But
Yeah.
I say it to say, man, like um, through what God has done through Glenn and through our now Saturdays that we meet. I'll let you plug that in at the end too. Um, it's been, bro, it's helped me. My wife asked me, she was like, um, do you get to, actually, well, she asked me, 'cause a lot of times in the conversation or meetings with men, I always become the guy who's always speaking, right? Who's always teaching, because I have that teaching gift and all these things. But she's like, are you like that in the group? I said, no, man, I actually get to enjoy just being a human being in this group, listen to everybody's stories, people plug into me, I plug in everyone, and I'm restored and I'm encouraged by these brothers, man. Like, and it's so for me, and I know for a lot of us on there, it's a much needed space, and we all agree that it's more that's needed. But yeah, man, it's been a big help, man. Just with Glenn taking this leap out of faith and doing this and having and doing this for other black men. So but yeah, I just want to give you your flowers, bro, for opening that platform, bro. Your book, and many books you probably gonna write, God willing, in the next few years, bro. And I just want to thank you, bro.
And I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for giving me the space to come on your platform and then showing up to the Saturdays. That was really encouraging. It's always good to see familiar faces there, bro. And it reminds me of the value that I add. You know what I'm saying? So, absolutely appreciate your brotherhood, your friendship as well, and I'm glad to be adding value in some way, shape, or form. So this is just awesome.
Man, I appreciate it. Is it any words, man, you want to leave to the people, man? Any encouragement, man?
Man, I feel like I said a lot. You know what I'm saying? I do think there is, since we focus a lot on mental health, there's a lot of fathers struggling. I'm just being
Yeah,
straight up with you. There's
yeah.
just a lot of men that are like they got everything. They know they can figure it out. They don't know how they're gonna do it. They're struggling. A guy hit me up today. Was just like, man, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I was like, okay, well, say the whole thing. You don't know what to do with what? You know what I'm saying? And they
Mm,
couldn't even formulate the words sometimes, man. And so, as much as I want to say that, you know, you know, all you got to do is read the Bible, and you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like sometimes, there is more to it. You know what I'm saying? There is you
yeah,
being in community. There's you going to therapy. There's you getting yourself out of stressful and toxic environments. You know what I'm saying? It's you maybe saying no to a relationship or saying yes to one,
yeah.
taking a risk. And so, the best way to find that and to fill that gap is, having a friend. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so, if you could just find one person to just tell to be honest with, I think it'll go a long way.
Perfect. That's it, Sierra. But that's